Hey everybody, so there are a lot of great ways to detect whether a stock is going to rise or fall. You can look at forward PE, you could look at news, you can look at earnings, but there are some hidden ways to detect where a stock is going. And I want to talk about it because this is a way you could detect whether a stock will rise or fall that a lot of people don't talk about. And if you do a little research, this could really give you an edge when looking at your speculative stock portfolio. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the flow of the flow of talent. So flow of talent is, for most companies, the most valuable asset are their talent, their engineer, their salespeople, the people who run the company. And if you know a certain industry and you read the trade papers and you see certain star designers or engineers leaving one company for another, that could tell you that one company where the talent is leaving, that's a company that will probably be underperforming in the next 12 months. And the company that's poaching a lot of talent, that company may be the star of the next year or the next couple of years. So let's look at a couple of examples here. In the 1980s, all the top talent went to Wall Street. Gordon Gekko, Wall Street, greed is good. Everybody went to Wall Street, and this was the case in the 80s and in the 90s. Then the talent in the late 90s and the 2000s started going from Wall Street to Silicon Valley. So they went to Silicon Valley, and you could see a lot of financial companies, they began to falter while the tech companies began to rise. So now what you also see in the 2000s are a lot of executives that left Fortune 500 companies, very secure jobs, companies like Procter and Gamble. Their top executives were leaving to go to Silicon Valley to work at Apple and Facebook. And this was at a time when companies like Procter and Gamble, they were still the gold standard, and to see these executives leaving for companies that are really considered upstarts was really amazing. And even within Silicon Valley, you can see top talent that will flow from, let's say, Apple to startups like Tesla and Uber. In fact, there was a story about Apple losing a lot of engineers to Tesla and Uber. And if you look at the stocks, you could see the stocks like Tesla and Uber outperforming Apple. But if you had looked at the flow of talent, that kind of predicted where these stocks were going to go. So let's just kind of give an example using the Apple and Uber thing. Let's say you have an engineer at Apple. They're working on like an iPhone, 6 or 7 at the time, and they get a call from a recruiter saying, "Hey, we want you to work at Tesla." And the engineer must say, "Oh, Tesla, they make those fancy $150,000 roadsters. Why would I leave Apple for a startup company that may go out of business a couple of years?" And then they find out, hey, Tesla's working on this something called the Model S. It's going to be a car that's going to sell for $100,000, and it's going to be really innovative. And that engineer knows things on a granular level that you and I would not know about engineering and about the potential of a product from an engineering point of view. And that person may say, okay, Apple is a more secure job, it's a more prestigious job, but what's going on at Tesla, this may be something that's a real big deal, and I'm willing to risk my career to jump over at Tesla. So looking at kind of where the top talent goes at Silicon Valley within that own ecosystem can really tell you where the future big companies will be in the future. Also, if you want to look at companies that may underperform, look where the talent is being poached. If Apple or eBay or Google or Facebook are beginning to lose a lot of engineers or a lot of talent, they may tell you that the engineers know something that we don't know, that either that the working environment is not very good, the products coming down the pipeline are not going to be very good. So you don't necessarily have to see where they're going, but if you see a lot of engineers or a lot of talent jumping ship, that could tell you a lot. Just to give you a personal example, I worked in the 1990s, I worked for an ad agency in Los Angeles, and there was another ad agency that moved into town. They were New York based, they were called Deutsch, and they moved out into LA because they had gotten Mitsubishi car account. It's a company called Mitsubishi, they used to sell cars. So Deutsch came out to LA to service their Mitsubishi account, and they began poaching a lot of talent. They poached talent from our ad agency, they were poaching talent all over town, and they were just staffing up. And what happened was that ad agency won 10 new business accounts like in a row in like a 14-month period, which is astounding. They added like $300 or $400 million in billings. And from the inside, you kind of knew something was going on with that ad agency. They had some sort of chemistry going, and lo and behold, they just blew up in size, and they became really huge. And probably if you work in your own industry, whatever, if you work in the insurance industry, the real estate industry, whatever, you could probably see the flow of talent, and you could do that investing in a business you already know. If you know, oh, all these good people are leaving for this new company, or all these people are leaving this company, you could probably have a very good predictor of where those stocks are going to be a year or two from now. So I hope this information was great. If you like these videos, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.